Let's take a closer look at the stories and people shaping our nation right here on Zoom In. I'm Menchu Macapagal. It's a story made for Filipinos, yet it first found its voice thousands of kilometers from home. An attempt to silence it came from a world power, but the proponents refused to cave in to intimidation. Now that story sails back home where it matters most. From rejection to recognition, a Filipino documentary film about the West Philippine Sea has traveled far to make it home. Let's zoom in on the filmmaker who made sure it was heard. Baby Ruth Villarama, welcome to the program.
Hi, thanks for having me, and good day to everyone of your listeners and viewers.
First of all, congrats, Direk, ha? Food delivery, fresh from the West Philippine Sea. Recently won big at the Dock Edge Film Festival in New Zealand. How did you feel when you got the news?
It was really surprising for us because we've been through a lot with this particular film, food delivery. We were not able to screen the film here in the Philippines, but when we got selected in New Zealand to screen there, we're just very grateful. So we're just full of gratefulness. When we won their Best Picture award under the Tides of Change category, I mean, out of 1,500 films from all over the world, 33 got selected, 10 were selected for the main competition, and we won. So that's a big win, not just for us as filmmakers, but for us as a country. And then it's about West Philippine Sea.
But how exactly did the film get selected?
When we were not able to screen it here in the Philippines, they heard the news because these film festivals, they look for films that they can curate for their festival. So they reach out to us and they ask us for a screener. And one of our producers, Ferdy Lapus, sent them a screener in Candid. And so we forgot about it. And then a month or two after, they sent us an updated email officially inviting the film to be part of their competition and their slate in their festival.
Wonderful. But you know, the Chinese consulate, we heard, tried to pressure the festival to drop your film. Paano mo nalaman ito, Direk?
To be honest, it was really the film festival who sat us down calmly. They informed us of what happened. They received several forms of communication, both via email and phone calls, asking the festival to remove food delivery from their slate and, to cancel further screenings. But they've dealt with it, and when they sat us down, it's already kumbaga a situation where no, they made their principled stand to continue screening the film, and they made an official announcement in their website, and they also posted the particular email from the Chinese consulate themselves in the spirit of fairness and transparency.
But what was your reaction when you first heard about it?
Not again. Parang again. And it also gave us clarity on what could have happened in the Philippines last March, because when the cancellation last March happened, we were not provided with explanations. So other than external factor, which we accepted and understand. So it was all reading between the lines. But when Dock Edge publicly announced the reason and the communication sent by the Chinese consulate, then it gave us clarity. It also put our purpose in the forefront, like, okay, so this is why we have to make this film and make sure that the audience see it.
But when you say not again, did you foresee na susubukan talagang harangin ng China ang pelikula?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it happened in the Philippines. So when it happened in New Zealand, so we're like, oh my God, so there's another force, there's that external force again that's trying to stop the film. And your spirit rises above it. It's like whatever adrenaline left inside you, it boosts you as an artist, because we artists, we operate under the cloak of artistic freedom, and that's the measurement if a country is really democratic and healthy. If we have a robust sense of democracy, then if the artists are okay, then we're okay. But when that happened in the Philippines, something shifted, and it puts you to question who's running this country na ba at this point. Like, why is external factor able to influence our local affairs? So of course, it gives you more curiosity, and it gives you, yeah, courage to really stand for what's right, especially if, certain things like sovereignty and freedom are at stake.
Okay, but when it was first told to you here in the Philippines, when they first told you that your film would be taken out of the lineup, was it clear to you kung ano yung external factor?
No, they did not specify it. And I don't think even the festival organizer are in the room when that decision was made. So all of us are operating clueless about it, except that the safety of the festival is at risk, and also the other films. So we don't want that to happen. So we all agreed, like, okay, in the spirit of safety and for that festival to carry on with the programming, we agreed that, okay, we'll pull out the film if that's for the best of everyone,
Sorry,
and figure out alternative.
Okay, sorry, Direk, but when you say for the safety, what was there, like a particular threat or something to that effect?
It's just like the festival might be canceled. That's just what was expressed during the time. So when that was expressed, then we understood, like, okay, we have to think of other filmmakers.
All right. But have you also experienced, some harassment on a personal level?
Well, as of this time, starting the 1st of June, my Facebook, I couldn't access my Facebook anymore, and also my Messenger. That was a surprise. And then when I reported it, it seems like several reports were filed that I'm violating community standards of some sort, that I'm spreading misinformation. So that was on hold. But I think thanks to friends at Meta, they're figuring it out, and they assured us that once, I guess, the pressure is pacified, then
Okay.
maybe I can have my Facebook back. So
So minas report ka ng you don't really know who.
yeah, I mean, I can't tell who, but it's just that it's the first time. I mean, I've been enjoying my Facebook since what, 2007.
Yes. Do you have any parang fears for your personal safety after all of this?
No, 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 no. I mean, my mind is telling me to be afraid, and if you're looking from the outside, of course, there are reasons to be afraid. But I don't think this is the right time to feel that. Filming in the West Philippine Sea, we've survived that. So right now, it's like the feeling is more of uh, courage,
Yes.
and firm and determined that we are in the middle of this journey already. And the more people standing behind us, I mean, thank you to your platform for giving us this opportunity to share our experience. The more that we are compelled that this story has 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 right in itself. Its time has come, and no amount of harassment can stop it. I mean, they can hurt me for all they want, but the story is there. It's done. It's finished. It will be out there no matter what. And it belongs to the Filipino people. Everybody deserves to see this film.
Yes, and you were saying nga po that the documentary was really made for the local audience, for the Filipinos, but in that film fest originally. So how did it feel when it couldn't be shown in your home country first and it found a stage abroad instead?
It's a little bit frustrating, and it also resonates what is happening to our industry as a whole. The level of self censorship is rising, and that's a concern, because yeah, I mean, the worst form of censorship is really self censorship. The moment that you allow this pressure to affect you, then two things lang yan eh, it will break you or it will define you. So we decided to go to the latter. And when you have a story that raises your flag, that's exciting for us as storytellers. And we are championing the truth here. We're in the business of truth telling. We're not in the business of creating a war or, dividing opinions. No, as independent storytellers, we're there to create a bridge and hopefully spread understanding. And this is a film. Originally, we made it for Filipinos, but now it resonated to international audience. We want to share it to our friends in the mainland China, that maybe there is a space for us to understand each other, because we deeply respect their culture, their stories. We watch their films also. So I hope with this particular film, they can give us the opportunity to be heard.
All right, and what does it take to film in the middle of the West Philippine Sea and to give a rare look at the life beyond the headlines? Direk Villarama shares to us more about that next.
We spent about 60 days intermittently in different places. The story of the West Philippine Sea is not just a story about fisher folk or the soldiers guarding this feature. It's actually a story about boundaries.
Welcome back to Zoom In. I'm Menchu Macapagal, and still with us, director baby Ruth Villarama. So, Direk, let's talk about ideation. How and why did this documentary come about?
Thanks for asking that. When you're seeing it in the news, repeatedly, me witnessing fellow reporters being chased by Chinese militia, fishermen, really, being in the disadvantage point, you really will feel the heart for it. Something really poke us to do something. So we had to think of an idea that would add to the conversation and isolate the noise from the issue. So that's why we found food as a common ground to meet halfway. And when we did our research and discover how beautiful the West Philippine Sea is and how sustainable the practice of our traditional fishing, which is simbada and arya, we saw that opportunity to share how beautiful the livelihood and the life of our fisher folk in the West Philippine Sea. So we anchored on that ground, we anchored on that story. And they welcome us, the fishermen welcome us to join their expedition. And then along the way, we discovered that there's a unique relationship between the fishermen and the Coast Guard, and also the Navy delivering food to soldiers guarding these features in the West Philippine Sea.
So, when exactly did you come up with this idea? Kasi this story has been going on for years already. So, give us a timeline. Kailan nagsimula itong from idea to, through the production? How, when, and how did the team come together?
Yeah, it was 2023, I think, around September, when there's this news of a fisherman, being chased. And then I think that was really the kumbaga the stroke that broke the camel's back, and we said, okay, let's this is not right anymore. And then we did our research, and around we visited the communities back and forth because it's just in Subic. So we were driving there and then talking to the communities, hearing their stories. So we compiled our research materials, and then we were able to put up a deck to pitch it to different partners. And then they came on board. They liked the story. And then when this festival opened its call for for story application. We just submitted it and tried our luck. So, and then yun, we got in. It was selected as producer's choice as well. So we were just really grateful that we became part of that local festival. And then, yeah, we continued our filming until January 2025.
Okay.
Finished the film in time for its premiere March. And then, yun na nga, it happened.
Na hindi
And
siya hindi na siya natuloy na maipakita dito sa Pilipinas. Pero balikan muna natin yung production direct, no? Ilan kayo sa production, and were you all like on board literally and figuratively from day one?
yes, we're all on board. We're just less than 10 because when you're doing a documentary film, you cannot be too many in the room. And we want to make sure that, we don't interfere with the natural flow of things. We were just mere observers. Our task is to capture their life as beautifully and as cinematically as possible. So yeah, and among that 10, we would divide ourselves into two units.
Okay.
So there was this rendezvous that happened in the sea because the sea is so vast.
Yeah.
And sometimes we would need to be in one boat, and the other unit needs to be in another boat. So yeah, it was a dance with the sea, kumbaga.
Saan kayo nakarating direct at gaano kayo katagal sa laot?
We spent about 60 days intermittently in different places. We went to Scarborough. We delivered food to several features. I think Lawak, Patag, Kota, and two others. Yun lang naman. So, the Kalayaan group of islands and then the Scarborough.
But that's a long time, 60 days. And it's not easy to get access to the West Philippine Sea, lalo na if you're not military. So how hard was it to get permission, and how did you get permission?
Now that is a story in itself. I think we can make another film. I mean, any journalist covering the West Philippine Sea story knows how difficult it is to get access. And it took us months. I think 6 months waiting. That's why we were able to have a lot of time with the fisher folk because, they welcome us wholeheartedly. And then the Coast Guards naman somehow are easier to deal with. But the AFP, they gave us a hard time. They really gave us a hard time with the permits. And I remember the production team had to submit 200 names because they couldn't give us a definite schedule. And then they informed us if that particular crew is not part of the list, then even though you have permit, that crew cannot join the trip,
So it's very
the RORE
specific.
mission. So it's very specific. So yeah, we had to submit 200 names, and all the suppliers in the industry were like, "What kind of film are you doing? Why is it so big?" But in reality, it's not. But yeah, that's the bureaucracy that we had to deal with. And
But aside
I
from,
guess this
aside from having to submit like the 200 names of possible people that were going to be on this, expedition, if you will, with you, what was in your mind kind of like one of the more absurd requirements that you had to accomplish to be able to get that permission from the AFP?
For us, it's really to be able to film it at such a very limited time, and the high expectation of capturing everything, just like when they're saying it. Of course, when you say something and you explain something, you can say it in 2 minutes. But when you film something, you need days to be able to capture the essence of what is explained
right.
to you. So for us, we had to engage them and explain to them. We felt like we did a crash course in filmmaking and the process of capturing everything as beautiful as possible. And time is always needed for you to be able to accomplish that. But in our case, AFP gave us a very, very limited window to capture everything. So we just did our best. We just did our best.
So it sounds like you must have had a bit of an emotional journey as well while you were doing this.
Yeah, because being with them makes you appreciate who you are as a
Mm-hmm.
Filipino in the grand scheme of things. Sometimes, we overlook a lot of trivial matters, but for them, it's so precious.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes you appreciate what you have. And the story of the West Philippine Sea is not just a story about fisher folk or the soldiers guarding this feature. It's actually a story about boundaries, about personal markings. Like, what do you do when an external factor
Factor.
trespasses your personal space? So there's a realization that this is not too far from our stomach.
Mm-hmm.
The issue is really very personal, and we have to go to that level. And knowing the lives of the fisher folk and understanding living their lives ourselves, there's an appreciation of the things that we don't really give importance to.
All right, well, now that the world has seen this documentary, why is it so important that Filipinos watch it too? Direk Villarama tells us that and what will happen next. Zoom in, we'll be right back.
The call is for China to respect that, because my question is, what will they do if our ships go to their 200 within their 200 uh,
Nautical
EEZ?
miles,
What would
yeah.
they do?
Welcome back to Zoom In. I'm Menchu Macapagal. Still with us, director Baby Ruth Villarama. Well, Direk, some critics have labeled the film as government propaganda. So what is your response to that? Did you receive any form of funding or support from the government?
We wish. No, we did not receive any form of support from the government. We receive a lot of what do you call that? CI, like we've been checked, and we've been vetted a lot of times. We went through the process. In fact, when you watch the film, 10% is only about the soldiers. I guess the reason why they're thinking maybe it's a propaganda because they featured some soldiers. No, we featured the soldiers because they're delivering food. We go back to the team food delivery, and access to this military areas. Of course, you have to deal with the government, so that's our only window. But we spend most of our time with a fishing community in Subic, and yeah, that's our pride. And it's independently produced, with our sweat, with our stress, and yeah, they cannot take away the truth from that.
So,
So we encourage them to watch the film and judge it for themselves.
so what message are you trying to send through this film, both to Filipinos and maybe even to China?
Well, the message of the film is simple. Respect the rule of law. We have a universal understanding, and there's a universal law. Let's go first with the law. The arbitrary ruling in 2016 ruled in our favor that the West Philippine Sea belongs to the Philippines. These contested features and islands belong to the Philippines. Every country has that privilege of 200 nautical miles exclusive economic zone. Everybody respects that. And the call is for China to respect that, because my question is, what will they do if our ships go to their 200 within their 200 uh
Nautical
EEZ?
miles,
What would
yeah.
they do? Yeah. So it's the same thing. Each island, each country has to protect that 200 economic exclusive economic zone, 200 nautical miles.
So,
And again, and also the message of respect. We always respect each other, and our fisher folk have been navigating this water for hundreds of years, peacefully, and no one wants to go to war. Filipinos are peace loving. Even our own war, we settled it via peaceful revolution. Remember the people power. We're not really, an aggressive nation are aggressive people. We want to settle this peacefully. And all we want is for them to return to where they belong, protect our territory, for us to protect our territory, and live in peace.
So,
So we protect our fish, we protect our freedom.
so how important is it for this documentary to finally be screened here at home?
For us, because we it's important for food delivery to be delivered in every consciousness of the Filipino people, because this is a film dedicated to them. It's our love letter to all the underdogs experiencing any form of bullying or any form of being trespassed in their lives, because it's a film that empowers you personally. It may be a story about the West Philippine Sea, but deep inside it, it's a story about you, and your potential to, to free yourselves from the shackles of whatever it is that's holding you back. That's how personal we designed this film to be.
And speaking of screening, sa haba-haba ng prosesyon sa Sinehan ang Bagsak, the MTRCB already gave it a PG rating and will finally be screened. So please invite our viewers to watch Food Delivery Fresh from the West Philippine Sea.
Yeah, thank you so much. Rockwell Cinema has opened its cinemas to us from August 1 to 8 at 7 o'clock p.m. We will announce more block screenings. So anyone who wants to watch the film, come to Rockwell, visit us, and yeah, the film is there for you. And we're talking to Ayala Cinemas now. We're just waiting for their green light. So hopefully they will open their cinemas also to food delivery.
Are you planning on taking this nationwide?
Yes, we're hopefully more schools can yeah, we can engage more schools so we can bring it to them. More students, so more students can see it as well. We just came from a meeting with groups of scholars also, where they also hope to organize black screenings so they can share it with their fellow students. So hopefully, yeah, even LGUs, we call on the hearts of the LGU mayors. Yeah, if you can host screenings also in your cities, it will be amazing to bring this film to you guys.
All right. And finally, Direk, after everything that you've gone through for this film, what are the takeaways that will lead you to the next project, if any?
Well, we just hope for this film to be successful so we can make more projects. Documentary films are important for the soul of any nation. And it's a time capsule for us. So if we want to appreciate who we are and if we want to empower ourselves as a country, I hope more people can invest in making documentary films and real stories. Cinema is there to offer people something more lasting. So thank you for supporting Philippine cinema, and I hope you can watch Food Delivery Fresh from the West Philippine Sea.
All right, filmmaker and director of award-winning documentary Food Delivery Fresh from the West Philippine Sea, Baby Ruth Villarama, thank you for your time. And we'll see you next time as we continue to zoom in on news and narratives that matter. I'm Menchu Macapagal.